Alright, so here is the first book club post for Blood at the Root. If you haven't read the book, feel free to save this video and you can hop in at any point. If you are reading, well, please join in the discussion in the comments section. So first off, for those of you who have read the book, what are your first impressions of the story? Did the book meet your expectations, or were you kind of in with it? Now, as we read, go through the next couple of weekends reading, this first set of, this weekend we're doing chapters 1 through 6, or 1 through 7, excuse me, and then, the next 7 chapters next weekend. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the first part of the book. So the first couple of chapters really tells you what is going on with Malik, and I think from the character his trauma and his anger is definitely showing, which is something that I think is very interesting, especially when we compare other Black fantasy books. You have Bree in Legendborn, who dealt with the loss of her mother. You have Eliza in Bacchanal, that dealt with her parents literally abandoning her because of her own magical abilities. And you can sense a lot of Malik's, like I said, trauma and anger just by, some of the things that he says. Black boys don't have magic because no good comes from it. But then we see what he does with that magical power in the beginning, and it's almost kind of like this foreshadowing of his anger and emotions and what that causes his magic to do. And his progression of innocence starts off the story, he's 7 years old, and the phrase bombs bursting through the air as he's enjoying 4th of July. There's a lot of hope, there's a lot of pride, excitement, and just youthful joy with that phrase, versus that second time around 10 years later when it's 4th of July again and he says bombs bursting through the air. Except this time when you read it, it's definitely, there's no excitement. It's almost a sense of dread, like, it's just another holiday, it's just another day. And I think it's his difference in the tone that we really start to see the shift of a character whose childhood they've lost all of their innocence. And so you can imagine reading it and seeing how he is definitely, I don't want to keep using the term angry, but how he is so reactive to everything that's going on around him, and the way that his character reads, you see that's because of that loss of innocence that's shaped him to be the person he is by the time we get to chapter 5 or 6, when he now meets the rest of his family. Malik himself mentions feeling out of place when he's first at the orphanage, and Alexis, another magic user, was the only person he felt close to. Then she was adopted, ripped away, and he never heard from her again, and it made him go right back to feeling lonely again. So even discovering that he comes from a family of magic users, he's still very, kind of standoffish about that. And it's not the same joy he felt when he first encountered Alexis at the age of 7 years old. Now it's almost like life has kind of hardened him a little bit, and because of that, he can't even seem to find the joy in his magic anymore. Which leads us to the anger he feels about magic. Tay even makes a comment that Malik's magic makes him feel safe, but Malik does not feel that way because, as far as he's concerned, his magic unalived his mother. And so how can his magic make anyone feel safe when he personally feels responsible for the unaliving of his mother? Now, something that we see time and time again in stories like this is that a lot of these kids who are left without anyone to explain to them about their ancestry, their magic, their heritage, it leaves them kind of in this void of not knowing what to do next. And this is something that people in the Black community can relate to, because a lot of times older folks, they don't pass down that knowledge for one reason or another, especially when things were deemed very secretive. So it can be very hard when you are coming into your own gifts to know what you're supposed to do next. And I think all of these stories, Legendborn, Blood at the Root, Bacchanal, Children of Blood and Bone, they do a great job of explaining this in a way that, I think that people can relate to. So those are just a few of my talking points. The full video will be on YouTube on Sunday about this, but I am going to post a few more videos throughout the weekend. The next one will be on the ancestry and magical part, and then also about some of the, you know, more stylistic, some of the, you know, the approach, I can't get my words together, to how the story is written. Excuse me, guys. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Like I said, if you have not started the book, just save this video, come back. I said we're just doing chapters 1 through 7 for this weekend. Next weekend, it will be chapters 8 through 15, and then we'll just go from there until we finish the story. Peace.